Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What are these camera things? I mean, they look like cameras, but they have weird screens on them, like smartphone screens or whatever. Not smartphone, I don't know, just the screens. An office. There are shelves everywhere, loads of files too. Like the hall before it, it's oddly ordinary. Just double check though. Yep, pretty sure this is another puzzle room. Alright then, let's get searching. Fine, a way out. Also, that just appeared randomly. Good music as well. I mean, it's very much, again, like a lot of these type of games. It's, it has that, like, you know, that type of music that really gets your head thinking, you know? It's brain music. Alright, well, let's look around. What is it? There's a note stuck to the front of the desk. It says, the bracelet arrived at the facility before the toy plane. Subject G does not know how to use a yo-yo. The yo-yo trickster did not arrive first. Okay, wait. Oh. Can I see that again? That seems important. There's like a menu to see that? Like the note is gone. There's just, I don't know. Did I save? I might need to look at that again later. I don't know. Yes? You eye over the mass of scrawled notes pinned in front of you. There are two distinct sets of handwriting here, but the contents are mostly the same. And mostly domestic? Notes on what to eat for breakfast and when to start preparing it. Notes on how much sleep to get and what stories to read. Birthdays, exercises, meal plans, and chores. The two who wrote these notes weren't just sharing the same space. They were living together. You spot a note on the wall and pick it up. It says, the blonde child seems to have a musical inclination. The bracelet has a notable tarnish. That reminds me of Elden Ring. Was it? It was like, tarnished one? Foolish. Tarnished. Upon sampling, it seems to be a coating of coastal salt. The city dweller was abducted in the spring. As you look over the sprawling web of photos, documents, and diagrams, you realize everything in front of you is perfectly orderly. These are the notes of a hunter, and stop was their prey. You recognize dozens of names, operations, and places, vital parts of Stop's organization that has suffered heavy blows in the last few years. But you're disturbed by how many places you don't recognize. Laboratories, factories, and armories that must be high above your clearance level cross out like someone was just going down a checklist. All these top secret sites had the same acronym, YTD, YTDI rather. YTDI. Well, it reminds me of YTP. YouTube poop. No, you don't recognize it. That's par for the course of Stop. If you don't know what an acronym means, it's probably above your pay grade. I actually hate acronyms. The acronyms always confuse me, so you don't know what they stand for. Another note stuck to the water cooler, which doesn't actually dispense any water. Heck. It says, the child whose destination comes first in the alphabet was the second to last arrival. Subject R arrived in June. The child wearing a bracelet arrived in September. Okay, seems all this very important, but like, hopefully there's a place where you can see all the notes, you know, together, because I have not been writing this down. Let's see. Domestic notes. Have I looked at this yet? Printouts and clippings, or printouts and clippings of various news articles, all related to Dr. Danger's exploits, with a certain colorful sidekick occasionally breaking into the opening paragraphs. In fact, when you look at them all together, Cautionne seems to show up more over time. Dr. Danger must be pleased with her pupil's growth. At the bottom of the pile, a heavily weathered photo peeks out. Based on what you can make out of the caption, it looks like some kind of commemorative occasion. Something and others celebrate a breakthrough in cyber or cybernetics and security. You can't recognize any of the faces, but you do recognize the logo. Well, never mind. It's just similar, that's all. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna comment on that, I guess. A secret. Okay. When you see the little symbol, you know, the, I guess, danger symbol, I'm assuming it's a puzzle, so I don't know yet, but I don't know, let's see. There are 5 empty slots and the door is locked. Your best guess is you need to fill them up somehow. Hazer? Caution's a big fan of word games, so he wants you to come up with a word that's almost as good as the one above. You might have to find some letters first, though. Okay. Oh. The blackboard is covered in little doodles, but they don't seem to be there for just for decoration. You have to admit it, but they're kind of cute. Completely unlike their creator. Subject A, bracelet. Okay, so these are the notes we found, right? Okay, so these are important, I'm assuming. Oh boy. Hold on. What's this? The Mados are playing some kind of simulation. Better take a closer look. Time for a crash course in cybernetics. Alrighty. Oh, and there's this one too. A computer in a small, strange coliseum. What on earth is that? Of course, it's a puzzle. It's I'm reminded actually. I don't know how to pronounce it actually. Panopticon? Panoptic. What is it? Panopticon. I think it was like this theoretical idea of like how you arrange like a prison, where all the prisoners are always kind of like they always seem to be being observed, you know? It's like a circular like prison thing where there's like one person in the middle and all the prisoners are all in this big circle, and therefore it always seems like they're being watched, basically, even if they're not. Something like that. I guess that's it. Oh, wait, no, there's one more note here. I missed this note. You pick up the note beneath the blackboard. It says, the red-headed child said they have never been to the suburbs or to the open water. Where will live in the mountains arrive in either June or December? The child from the suburbs was processed before the subject from the mountains. Oh boy, that's like a whole big thing I feel like about how like find the right order. What's this? These documents appear to be designs for cybernetic limbs like the ones produced by Stop at first glance. On closer inspection, there are more differences than there are similarities. Stop's technology is more generalized, more efficient, and angular. These plans are heavily customized. They could have only been suitable for a very small number of subjects, possibly as few as one. Perhaps Dr. Danger based it off stolen data? You make a note to tell your superiors about possible reverse engineering. Okay. Actually, look at this. You survey the diagrams before you. From a distance, they seem to be your average blueprints. Blueprints for weapons of all makes, shapes, and sizes. But on closer inspection, they reveal a certain quirkiness that doesn't belong in a technical document. The handwriting is also distinct, for lack of a better word. That said, poor penmanship hasn't dulled the designs themselves. The least dangerous of these would be devastating out in the field. The oldest of the blueprints, the ones hidden at the bottom of the pile, look wildly different. Clearly another person was behind them. In fact, if you squint, you find the signatures at the bottom. These strange, they say. They're dated more than 15 years ago. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming these strange is a reference to Dr. Danger, maybe? Or maybe not. I don't know. Seems to imply that, you know, Dr. Danger and Cautionne were living in the same place, but not sure. I'm just looking around some more. Is there anything else I can look at? I think that's it. Only thing left to do is actually solve the puzzles. You know, I don't want to do that. Well, I guess we have to. What is this? Cybernetics. Alright. So what is this? It's time for a crash course in cybernetics. Lay down new synthetic neural pathways, but be mindful of the original pieces that can't be moved. Here's some basic recalibration rules. Neural pathways must form one continuous loop and occupy every available space. Pathways can cross over themselves, but they can't retrace themselves. No T intersections. At any four-way intersection, a neuron will always go straight through. It will never turn. You can only submit possible solutions where there are no open-ended pathways, including T intersections. Like every possible state. So it has to be a loop, I guess? So the end goal is that it's a loop? But it also cannot be open-ended as well. These ones are tricky. Now, what happens if I just submit it right now? I did it! You confirm your choice and the beeping starts. Its tone sets the hairs on the back of your neck on edge. You're losing him, Doc. Wait, that's an actual... As they are now, they can't be restabilized. That person's own nervous system will rip their body apart with spasming. They should be punished for your mistake, right? Well, don't worry, I can fix this. But I'm gonna need a hand. Suddenly your body feels a lot heavier. Is that mist in the corner of the room? And the liver, and the stomach, and the heart, and most of your spinal cord. Wait, I need that to live? I'm gonna need them right now. Alright. Patient was eventually restabilized and should wake up within the next few days. On the other hand, the lab rat won't get up ever again. They're missing a few too many critical parts. Contributing factors of death, they gave too much of themselves to my cause. I didn't consent to this. But I didn't make the cut, apparently. So let's do this properly. I mean, I don't know. Is there a way to make another four-way intersection somewhere? It seems like the key to this, the key to all of this, is to make some kind of four-way intersection somewhere else. How do I do that without... I mean, the only way would be... I guess... Let's see a pattern here. You can make one here. But not like special, this is like on the corner. I feel like this is specially made for you to make a four-way intersection. Another four-way intersection, I think you make like next to one of these things. So, it seems possible to always make a four-way intersection next to one of these corners here. Corner pipes, I guess. Or pathways. But then you'd be forced to make a three-way intersection there. Maybe? Hold on. I can't submit this, so let's see. Are all available spaces covered? There's no T intersections, it seems like. I have used every available space. I don't know if the four-way intersections work like this, though. Let me save. I'm gonna save real quick. So let's see. So this seems to be a continuous pathway. I went through every space that you can't change, and there's no T intersections, as in there's no three-way intersection. That's the hardest part, like understanding how to do that. Seems right to me. The only thing I'm worried about is that it's use every available space, as far as I know, right? It says here to use every available space and make a continuous loop. But yeah, you also have to use all the spaces that, the original pieces that can't be moved. So that's what I was wondering. Do I have to use this original piece as well? Like this? Or can I ignore it? That's what I'm wondering. I don't know how you would do it otherwise, I'll try submitting it, I guess. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's the biggest thing. Okay, that's the biggest thing, is that you don't actually have to use the open pathways of the original of the pieces. That's what I was thinking. Like, technically that's open, right? So you I don't know. I wish that was kind of communicated, but I mean, the puzzle itself is already pretty hard. But that's the one rule that's kind of ambiguous to me. Like, it says no open pathways, but that's an open pathway to me. That's what it seems to me, Like, it's not a loop because there's a little bit of piece dangling out, If these were pipes, you had to close off those holes, Which wasn't communicated, I feel like. Anyway, you solved the puzzle. Oh, that took a while. RT. Right trigger. The desk drawer just opens just a bit, or rather, the desk drawer juts open just a bit, and reveals two small tiles inside. R and T are written on them, respectively. Now, where could you put them to use? Probably the door. There you go. Whew. Wow. Alright, so we did that. There's a few more things we gotta do, though. There's the panopticon. There's this board over here, based on all the notes we've collected. And then I'm assuming that's it. So we get all the letters and then we, submit it at our final door. Alright. So let's see here. So we solve the cybernetics puzzle. That was pretty hard. Let's check out, I don't know, let's check out this one. I want to save the board one for last, maybe. Small Strange Coliseum. Alright, here we go. Of course, it's a puzzle. Has a turn limit as well. That's something I don't like. Well, let's see. The instructions. In the stealthy campaign, Cautionne has managed to take control of a stop holding center, where several young test subjects are being held in a futuristic panopticon. Oh, it says right here, panopticon. To give them the best chance of survival, Cautionne needs to rearrange the cells so that each order or each group of escaping testees is balanced. These groups are shown as a circle, a triangle, a square, and an X. However, the bureaucratic systems have left only the bare minimum operating instructions on how to operate the panopticon. Help Cautionne properly arrange the cells according to the limitations of the system. Balanced. Okay. What does that mean, though? I'm not entirely sure what that means. So like a circle, triangle, square, and an X. So does that mean like every row, I guess? Every column or row, I don't know what you call it. I guess a column. Has to have a circle, a triangle, a square, and an X as well? Is that what that means? And also, these are instructions, so based on the colors. Not sure what that means. Well, let's just touch things and see if it works. Okay, so it's kind of like that. Okay. So, I'm assuming black, I guess. It's not really black. What do we call this color? A grayish? This is black, but this is more like a grayish color. Like dark grayish color. So dark grayish color moves the blue one. The blue one moves the, I guess, white. Like an off-white color. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Yeah, it moves that, and this one moves blue. Yeah, okay. So it's that kind of puzzle where it's like you move things around, it moves the other ones as well. I don't know, it's gonna be difficult. Anyway, oh, you rearrange another set of cells, and suddenly your controls freeze up. There's a notification in the corner. Seems like you run out of time, lab rat. That's it. The jailbreak is over. You screwed up. So it was a prison. Then, if this only concerned you and me, I'd be whatever about it. We all make mistakes, So I'm super forgiving and cool and mature about this kind of thing. But you just lost those kids a chance to get out before the operations even start. Sorry, operations? They could have gone out clean. Now I'll have to step in and bust them out dirty. It's all because of you. Shut up. Shut up. Now go sit in the corner and think about what you've done. I'll come back for you when you're sorry enough. Subject expired after 3 days due to lack of water, light, food, and mental stimulation. That's horrible. Scratch your nails to the bleeding point on the exit door before losing consciousness, so I have to clean that mess up. Contributing factors of death didn't take the consequences of their imprisonment very seriously. Dead end. That's like messed up, just to leave them there in like isolation with nothing. That's messed up. Alright. So let's do this properly now. Though doing it properly is not be difficult. Okay. I was just wondering if I move it all around, like put it back in the same spot, it doesn't use up a turn. So just kind of like, feel it. The hardest part is understanding. Where do we want to like waste everything? Because we have to move stuff around. Like, in which way? So I think the biggest thing is making the gray rings or whatever. I think they need to be they need to be in an order where there's the other groups. I'm assuming. I still don't really understand the solution. Like, what is supposed to be the solution? But I'm assuming each column needs to have a circle, triangle, square, and an X. So they all have to be different. Since you can move this moves like 2 rings. So that's very important because if it moves 2 rings, that means I have to make sure they match. So do that. I need to make sure each one of these has a different thing. Which it does, but it also needs to match something else. To move this, no, that's, oh, I can. I move this, and then move something else again later. You have to think in multiple steps, I guess. That moves that too. That doesn't work. The biggest problem I find, yes, the X's match up too much. Try to make it in such a way where the X's don't match. It just moves everything, so that doesn't help. But maybe it will. That. This. It doesn't really. Nah. There's another X. There's so many X's. Why do the X's keep matching? But am I supposed to match? I don't know. Each group is balanced. So balance as in like every group needs to have a different symbol on it. Oh. I did not even realize I solved it. Great. I was just moving things around until it seemed like it worked. Because I was trying to figure out how to like that because it's hard to like memorize all the shapes, but I was just trying to remove the X's from each other. It's like I kept turning, you know, I kept matching the X's on the gray rows and the blue rows. I was trying to like separate that. But I guess it worked out. Sure. I wonder what the hard version of that. I wonder what the original version of this one is. Because I've heard it. You know, I read comments before I played the game. I did some research about it and everything. And again, the initial reason why I didn't play this game when it first came out on itch.io is because the puzzles were apparently hard. Especially, I had something to do with the panopticon actually, and how hard that was. But seems like it's toned down. I mean, as far as I know, because I don't know. I do wonder what the hard version is like, because I don't know. I'm assuming it's even more combinations, maybe. But anyway, in response to your hard-earned success, 2 little Scrado-like tiles pop out of the miniature panopticon. I'm assuming you know, legally you can't say Scrabble. They show the letters A and S. How quaint. Or maybe it's just a joke, you know. In a lot of anime in particular, they always use off-brand, you know, names to refer like real brands or whatever. There you go. We solved that somehow. Let's do this one next. The blackboard is covered in little doodles. They don't seem to be there just for decoration. Yeah, I read that already. Okay, so let's see. This one has a lot of notes. So like, So I want to do this last. It seems like there's gonna be a lot of logic. Okay. It says here, during our last operation, we only managed to save 4 test subjects. We also found some incomplete records that indicate all the subjects of this facility arrived within the same calendar year and a box of their personal belongings. Click on the notes for a detailed view. In the detailed view, click on the red notes to strike them out. Using what information we have, figure out which item belongs to who, and when each subject arrived at the facility, and who grew up where. Strike them out. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so there's subject A, subject R, subject G, and subject F. They also have yo-yos, and the toy plane, the bracelet, harmonica. They all have their names on it, though we don't know their names necessarily. Charles? I'm assuming Charles? Maybe? No. Sam, Avery, and Clark. There's also locations as well. Intake dates. March to September, December. How do I do this? Do I like... I mean, we can like strike them out. But how do we match them? Figure out which we can submit, but what does that mean? You know, I don't know what that means. We can strike them out. I'm assuming striking them out is more like a thing where we, try to understand where each information, whether or not we've completed the information or whatever, which is what is relevant or not. But how do we like match them in the game? Do we like... Let's see what happens if I submit, actually. You carefully insert one more and... Oh. Wow, you suck at this. Something about his unusually straightforward insult puts ice into your veins. It's like you're solving this puzzle with your eyes closed, your nose plugged. There's some reason you don't want to look at the truth in front of you, lab rat? No, it's just I don't know how the game mechanics work, Are you supposed to drag them together, or... I know you're not taking this seriously. Maybe we should just move on? You know what? Yeah. Let's put a pin on it. Literally. Subject experienced permanent loss of life after one of the facility's reconfigurable nanosticks jetted out of the floor and impelled them to the ceiling. Guess they were with the trouble of installation. Contributing factors of death, and put progress on the board. Okay. A lot of violent deaths. We never see them though. It always cuts to black. Let's see. I don't know. Like, how are you supposed to do this? I'm assuming. Okay. Oh, okay. You're supposed to do that. All right. Makes sense. I was wondering how you're supposed to do it. The game didn't really explain that. I wish they kind of explained that. I wish they explained the controls. Okay. No, it makes sense now. But like, I was trying to move the pictures themselves, but I kept, just kept opening the zoomed in view. What you're supposed to do is, just connect the dots. Whatever. It makes sense in hindsight, obviously, but it just wasn't obvious at the time. Anyway, okay, let's figure this out. I guess we have to look at each note one by one. So, the blonde child seems to have a musical inclination. All right. The bracelet has a notable tarnished. Tarnished. What was that? I keep forgetting. What was the line? I don't know what he said. He put, foul tarnish. Put these foolish ambitions to rest. Yeah, that's what he said. One of the first bosses of the game. Or at least the main boss, anyway. What was his name again? More something? I want to say Godric, but it's not Godric. Morgott. Oh, it's like Morgott. Has it the thing in Elden Ring where like they're the same person but they just have slightly different names? Just like change one letter or something. Anyway, I got sidetracked. All right. So let's solve this. The blood child seems to have a musical inclination. The razor has a notable tarnished. Upon sampling, it seems to be a coating of coastal salt. And the city dweller was abducted in spring. Okay. So, I mean, I guess we just connect the dots. I mean, blonde child, I mean, it's hard to tell just by looking at them because they're literally not colored. But I'm assuming subject F is blonde. You can see this person's hair, I'm assuming, is... Unless, I don't know if it's hair or a helmet, but... I mean, that's not blonde, I'm assuming. We can't see this person here necessarily, but I guess that's that, so it's like... I'm assuming the only person is blonde, is subject F. So, I guess it would be this one, because they have a musical inclination. There's nothing else that has music involved. So it's that. Bracelet has notable tarnish. Let me just cross that one out. Bracelet has notable coastal tarnish. Or rather, the tarnish... Or rather, it has tarnish, but it seems to be coated by coastal salt. So this has to be related to... like a location. It has to be related to that. I guess. Although I don't know if that is like correct necessarily. I wonder if the game will penalize you for that, but you know, what we really need to do is figure out who went there. We'll note that down for now. The city dweller was adopted in spring. I'm assuming the city person was in spring, so spring is... I don't know, when's spring? To be honest. I mean, June is summer, September is fall. I guess March? I mean, honestly, all the seasons in my head are all mixed up now. I have no idea anymore. Seems like when it's like, you know, all, like the weather, you know, it just keeps like being all mixed up. Like it snows in summer and it's hot in winter, you know? Doesn't make sense anymore. Anyway, I'm assuming March. Cross that out. So this doesn't give us direct answer, but it gives us clues. Let's see. The bracelet arrived at the facility before the toy plane. Okay, so that's based on toy plane. We don't know when the toy plane, you know, when it arrives at the facility yet. Subject G does not know how to use a yo-yo, and the yo-yo trickster did not arrive first. There's a lot of like negatives, which doesn't help us directly, but gives us a clue, I guess. Subject G, so it has to not be related to, yeah, they're not Clark, I guess. I'm assuming anyway. And they did not arrive first, so it's not spring. How's the yo-yo? Did not arrive first before the toy plane. The toy plane has to be... It can't... I mean, obviously it can't be first. That's already... Yeah, because I already know... Hold on. We don't know, actually. Anyway, whatever. We'll have to go back to that, I guess. We have no idea. This one... The child whose designation comes first in the alphabet was second to last to arrive. Okay? Subject R arrived in June. And the child wearing a bracelet arrived in September. Alright, so it gives us a lot of clues, actually. So, whose destination comes first? I'm assuming in the alphabet would be A. They were second last to arrive, so they came in September, actually. Subject R, which just gives information directly, came in June. Oh, and not that. It came in June. I don't know how to keep track of all these, you know, these pins. Okay, so subject A, and a child wearing a bracelet arrived in September. Now, we don't know who the bracelet belongs to yet. I guess we can put September. Well, September is this guy, or subject A anyway. So it has to be them. Okay, so the bracelet belongs to subject A. It came in September. What was the so we have to figure out which item belongs to who, and when each subject arrived at the facility and who grew up where. Okay. So subject A definitely had the bracelet, and they came in September. It has to be. So I don't know if this matters, so we can get rid of that. I guess we get rid of all the fluff. The bracelet has a coastal thing, so it has to be related to that. So I think subject A is solved. I think they're solved. Basically. Let's see. The red-headed child said to have never been to the suburbs or to the open water. Okay. Whoever lived in the mountains arrived in either June or December. The child from the suburbs was processed before the subject from the mountains. Oh boy, so this is kind of difficult. Red-headed child. Now that's the thing I'm wondering about, because you look like you're wearing, you know, some kind of like head covering. I'm assuming anyway. I don't know. I can't tell because the hair over here looks different. I'm assuming that's what I'm assuming. I don't know. So they're both redheads, you know. So like I don't know. Unless you just count this one, because I mean they're redhead too. I'm not sure how to count. You know? Let's see. The bracelet. Well, the bracelet was September, so it has to be right. Okay. Looking back at this, bracelet was before the toy plane. That means the toy plane has to be December. It has to be the last one. There's no other option. The toy plane has to be the last, the person that came last. Whoever lived in the mountains arrived on either June or December. June, December. Could be them. Or could be them. Doesn't really help us too much. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make the assumption that when they're referring to the red-headed child, they're referring to subject G, because I don't know subject R's. They seem to also have red hair as a thing, but maybe that's not the implication here. So I'm assuming subject G. They've never been to suburbs of open water. It makes sense. Never been in water, and never been to suburbs. So we can count them out from suburbs, and if we count them out from yo-yo, I guess. Whoever lived in the mountains arrived in either June or December. June or December. December is a toy plane. June is subject R. So it's either subject G. So either subject G's. I mean, it could be either or. Subject R is like, it can be in June and December. If they live in the mountains, but if they live in the mountains, then they have to be the yo-yo, because that's the only other gift, the only other toy or whatever. It has to be them, the yo-yo, if they live in the mountains, June or December, or the toy plane. But I guess it can't be. Yeah, it says June or December, but it cannot be June, because March is referring to the city, and the child from the suburbs was processed before the subject from the mountains. I guess. I can't be March. So it has to be December. The process by elimination, when it says here, whoever lived in the mountains arrived in either June or December, it has to be December, because June doesn't make sense any other way. So it has to be December. So the person who lives in September, or December rather, has to be from the mountains. It has to be it. In that case, the person who was processed before the subject from the mountains in the suburbs has to be before December. It can't be September, because September is subject A. It can't be March, because that's the city. So it has to be June. So June is related to the suburbs. Subject R, in that case, is from the suburbs, and they came in June. Oh yeah, and another thing to think about is the gift, right? Or the toy. I don't know, is it a gift or a toy? I don't know. They have like a thing. Or personal belonging, rather. I keep thinking gift, but you know. Seems like the musician, subject F, has the harmonica. Subject A obviously has the bracelet. Subject G does not like the yo-yo, so by process of elimination, they must have the toy plane, and subject R must have the yo-yo in that case. Makes sense to me. So connect these, I guess. In that case, yeah. So I think subject R is solved. They arrived in June, they came from the suburbs, and they have the yo-yo. Right. And by process of elimination as well, but the subject G must have the toy plane. Now, the only thing I'm not sure about Yo-yo trickster did not arrive first. The person who has the yo-yo did not arrive first. Is second, which makes sense. So, sense? And the bracelet arrived before the toy plane. Okay, oh, that's a big clue. Okay, so bracelet. So you came in September. So the toy plane has to be December, which I already have. That's correct according to my notes. That's correct. Which means subject G came in December. Right. Didn't make the connection yet. And they must have come from the mountains. That. I don't know if it matters. Like I have to connect every single object. I'm not sure. So yeah. I mean, I guess again, process by elimination. This is all correct, and I have made no contradictions. Then subject F is the only person left. So they must have came in during March, right? Because March is the only person that didn't go in March. So subject came in December, subject R came in June. You must have came in March. And you must belong to the city. So that's the only other option. So I think that's it. So the answer is, yeah. Subject F came in March, came from the city, and they have a harmonica because the music is inclined. Subject R came in June, came from the suburbs, and they have the yo-yo. Subject A, pretty simple as well. Everything's spelled out for subject A, so basically, yeah. Bracelet's from the coast, came in September, and the red-headed girl, I'm assuming girl, a toy plane, came from the city, and came in December. Redheaded child. Again, the whole redheaded thing, kind of confused me though. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I think this is my answer. I guess we'll see if it's correct. There you go. All right, got it. Yeah. I mean, it really is like just how do you say, deductive reasoning? Is that the word? It's just based on the notes and like, yeah. E. A tiny blue tile falls to the ground. Upon closer inspection, it reads the letter E for evidence, or maybe for end of puzzles. Enough of these silly games. That's just wishful thinking. Either way, you decide to take it with you. There you go. All right. Yeah, I guess that's it. Over here. 5 FT slots in the door. You gotta make a new word that I'm assuming is not taser. I'm assuming if you make taser again, it's like, it's not correct. It's almost as good as the one above. What happens if I just choose taser again? Hold on, let me save again. A taser. I choose taser again. Wow, lab rat. Did you even try? Not much to say here. The lab rat just sucks at word games. Contributing factors dev should have dipped their toes into a few titles before meeting me. Personally, I recommend Scrattle. Dead end. Okay. Alright. Let's actually try. I'm actually pretty bad at word games. I don't know. It doesn't easily come to me. When I look at like a bunch of like letters and to form like a word, I don't know. Something as good as word above. Stare? That's the only one I got. Stare? Is that good? I mean, is that good enough? I don't know. That's a word, right? Do I have to make any word? Like a word that's almost as good as the one above. That makes it sound like you have to get the most points or whatever, How do you do that in Scrabble? I mean, Scrabble, it will be using certain letters, right? Like certain letters that are not often used in a lot of common words. That's how you get higher points, I guess. I don't know if it matters what kind of word I'm getting. But is that correct? Stare. Yeah, there you go. No message from the kid yet. Maybe you're stealthy. You can vent like a sussy baka. You can sneak past without being subjected to another one of his stupid broadcasts. Oh, never mind.
As usual, I see.
You spoke too soon. Yeah, you're right in your element, huh? Not that you'd know it, but I've got a good eye for this kind of thing. I bet you got that bubbly feeling buzzing under your skin. Like sweet sparkling lemonade in your veins. What a colorful turn of phrase. I give my right arm to feel as excited as you do now, lab rats. You must be salivating at the mountain of evidence beneath your fingertips. Weapons, corkboards, secret evil plans. All the classics are here, and we both know, you really, really want to rub your grubby paws all over them. Even if you copy half of one of the blueprints from that, you still have enough evidence to net you promotion. Wait, hold on. Let me read that again. It goes too fast. If you got about half of the one into a bar napkin and threw it down through the washing machine, you still have enough evidence to net you a promotion from HQ.
Well then.
So go ahead, take as much as you like. I won't touch a hair on your head. After all, the great Cautionne, Emperor of malViolence, knows that you only care about the truth. He shall let you indulge. Hey, lab rat, can I ask you something? You are just getting evidence, right? Does he not approve of your investigation style? You're being thorough just to be cautious. You're just being thorough. I've watched you with my drones. Tailor these puzzles to your specific subpar problem-solving skills. I put it on medium difficulty. Carried out quasi-legal research on your identity. So I know what you are. You're an agent for Stop. Nothing more, nothing less. Am I right? Again, with a silent treatment. I've met vending machines with better social skills than you know that. Fine.
Shut up!
I'm already shutting up. Next time you escape a puzzle room, I won't talk either. See how you like it. Now move, or you'll regret your staring contest with me. Again with the temper tantrum, huh? Seriously, why are you so pissed off at you? He and Dr. Danger have fought against stop agents in the past, but that's not your department. Hell, before this, you never met either of them face to face. What right does he have to act all high and mighty at you? Right. Supervillain. Big ego, no self-awareness. Don't overthink it. He's literally killed millions. In fact, he's killed you, in particular, in, multiple timelines. He's literally starved you to death with no food or water in the darkness in solitary confinement, basically. It's like, you actually go insane, actually, from sensory deprivation if you do that to someone. So it's like incredibly horrible, actually. You shouldn't give them any sympathy, actually. The dim corridor stretches before you with no answers to offer. It's darker here, but not in an unpleasant way. It's warmer than the previous rooms, literally and figuratively. The wooden floorboards and the decorated wallpaper feel welcoming. Nostalgic, even. If you viewed this hall alone, you assume it belonged to a family household, not to a scheming terrorist and her kooky sidekick. It's been a very long day. Hard to tell how much time has passed, but damn, you're exhausted, from all that puzzle solving. The gentle heat tempts you to sit down on the floor, or maybe lie down. Would Cautionne allow you to take a quick breather? Hold on, let me save. This feels like a decision. If you meant what you said about not harming a hair on your head, then maybe the smart thing to do would be to...
Very tempting for a wooden floor, isn't it?
Yeah. A third time.
Flooring. My work has always been stressful, so I've always strived to maximize comfort wherever I could. Allow me to explain.
When your work is done, you can sleep here all you like. Before then, you got dishes to clean, washes to run, bedrooms to vacuum, and of course Cautionne to take care of. He represents a unique challenge, I know. But you wouldn't have gotten this far if you and I didn't believe you couldn't do it.
Please, listen.
While I'm away on business, it's important that you keep him on his daily routine. 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., regularity is key. Remember that all his dietary habits, I'll read that again. Health regimens and study exercises are detailed in the files that we went over together. I apologize if you have to decrypt them again, but Cautionne and I have made a habit of hiding our tracks for good reason. When the day is over, feel free to play games, watch movies, or read comics together. If you need a suggestion, Cautionne told me that he loves the Cantaloupe Mall course on Marco Kart. Okay. I might be pronouncing that wrong. He'll know what you mean. So take care.
Please.
If things go smoothly, I'll be back for him in a week. And if things don't go smoothly, well, you'll die. Anyway, well, there are systems in place that will guide you in what to do.
That's all for now. Goodbye. And thank you for taking care of my... Note to self, re-record instructions at earliest convenience. Try not to be so ominous next time.
Okay. Yeah, this just seems like we're like babysitting. You know, are we just a babysitter? That message wasn't for you, and it wasn't for one of Dr. Danger's goons either. But a babysitter? Really? Wonder what would be qualified to babysit him? Come on. Just focus on the task at hand.